Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. Once again, I'm Brendan, and unfortunately, Braden can't be here today. He was feeling a little under the weather, so it's just gonna be me today. Thank you for tuning in. Remember, if you like what you're listening to, like, follow, and subscribe. And yeah, have a good time. Interact with us. We'll respond to you 95% of the time. I can't respond to everyone, but that's the reality. But today, I would like to welcome Natasha Zimbaro. I'm sorry if I butchered your name. Like I said, we talked about this before, and I think I got it right, but.
You got it. You got it.
Let's just start a little background. Can you just tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're out of, what made inspired you like to make music and your podcast and all that?
Yeah, well, thank you so much for having me. It's an honor. And my story has been a long one in the music industry. I've been really blessed for some of these over my um, long tenure doing this in secular music. So I started out in country, then I moved to pop for a little bit, and had some incredible opportunities and things through that journey. However, a lot of the time I was in unfulfilled, and it took me a really long time to figure that out. I do know that that's testimony in my story, and there's a lot of layers to that that I can too long to go through it. But ultimately, I felt that that I was supposed to be glorifying God through music, moving forward. That that has totally changed my life, and that's the truth, to just glorify Him in whatever way I can, whether that be through me for sure, but I also do have a Christian faith-based podcast with one of my best friends, minister to young girls on there, and that's our goal with that. And then we also do health. So um, ultimately, my purpose, I feel like now, is in whatever way I can to advance the kingdom. So I'm just following His lead.
Sorry, I muted myself. Sorry, I apologize. I was like unmute. That's really great to hear. Can you tell us a little bit about your podcast per se? You said you have a podcast. Can you tell us a little bit about that for the people that are listening?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's called Covered by Grace. And during the pandemic, in my best friend and I were both feeling very, I guess, like the rest of the world, like just totally lost and confused. But we knew that our sense, and we felt inspired and felt called to start this Christian community. It originally online called Covered by Grace, and then we turned that we did that for a few years. We're still doing it. We are on a short hiatus at the moment, just as in our endeavors. But it is a faith-based podcast where we journey, and then we also interview guests as well about their faith walk. And we've saw in the past people from The Bachelor who are followers of comedians and people in the medical field. And so we've just talked to a bunch of our brothers and sisters in Christ, and what their faith journey looked like as dating it and still are throughout um, COVID, but then also.
That's really exciting. And like all podcasts are unique. It's really cool that you guys are doing a podcast. And that's kind of like how Brad and I started a podcast, but we weren't during COVID. But we're like, let's just start something different. So really cool. Um, so we're going to go switch
Mhm.
gears now to your music. You said you started out in country and pop music. Can you tell us a little bit about how your transition happened, or a
Mhm.
little bit about your transition? Transition, not transition. I'm sorry.
Um, well, it is, I guess it is a long story. I guess I was given a child. So when I was 13, I signed my first record deal. And that's when we started doing, as I was 13. So I didn't know who I was at the time, as most people don't. So we were kind of chasing after this thing, and I just didn't know who I Christ at the time, and so I did that for quite a few years. Then signed another deal with Sony, and I was part of a pop band. And not who I was, that's for sure. I was 17 at the time, and my band I was. So it was just a very different dynamic. Great guys, but we were just at different. Ultimately, as well, the songs we were singing, I was acting. Kind of one of my what was one of my biggest fears as I was in secular music. My biggest fear was to speak in between songs because I truly, so when I was on stage, I would just like totally freeze and just be like, I don't know what to say because the audience that I was playing for, um, as I was singing wasn't they weren't
Mhm.
connecting to me as a human, and as a very hard to kind of keep up that role for someone I wasn't. And so that was always my biggest fear, like in those moments. Musical journey was just talking. um, but now I'm so working on, and the new music that I'm working on is truly my testimony, and I know and I hope that it will resonate with other people as well, and in their faith walk and journey as well.
That's very exciting. For those who are listening, you should check out all her music catalog. She's on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, anything you can watch or listen to music on, you can probably find it. Do you have any like upcoming shows that people can come check you out or support you at?
Yeah, so unfortunately, I'm in the US at the moment, but I am going back to Canada for Female Artist of the Year at the Canadian GMA Awards. So in a few weeks, and it'll be in Kitchener, Ontario. So and then I will be doing a Christmas tour as well in BC. An amazing organization that does incorporates ballet, the Christmas story, and Jesus's birth all in one. And so I'll be singing 10-day tour in British Columbia, Canada.
That sounds exciting. You don't hear about much people going to Canada,
Yeah.
honestly. Uh, we just have a few extra minutes. I'm not going to take your whole day. Is there anything you want to bring up or discuss, or anything you want to say to people listening?
Ooh, that's a good one. Putting me on the spot. I think one of the things that I've learned this season of my life, and then truly be obedient to God's plan for your life. And I think you try to figure out our own lives and careers and our own strength, but ultimately Jesus is the only one that can plan that. And that's what I've learned is when you truly let go and let God. And I know we say that a lot, and it's sounds cliche sometimes, but when you truly do that and just be obedient in his will for you, you can really see hand on everything. And I think just keeping that's really important. So I guess that's what I would say, because it's resonating with me right now in this season of my life. And when you take that step of faith, when you're being called, and sometimes it feels a little, ultimately, his glory shines through that. So um
That's really cool. And this is just a random thing. I was researching you a little bit before, like we met, and you had a song in the Netflix movie Mitchell and the Machines. Can you just tell us how that happened? Just because I'm curious.
yeah, yeah, that was actually really cool. That's the fun parts. I really don't know how it happened, but it was a song from, I was in that pop band that I was mentioning, and it was a song that I wrote and I sang. It somehow ended up in an Oscar nominated movie, and I'm very blessed that it ended actually very random. The funny thing is I actually didn't know it had already out. There must have been some miscommunication along the line somewhere, but of me who had um, uh, young kids at the time. They were between two and the movie on, and my cousin knew all my songs from my pop band. Congratulations! It's so cool seeing your song in this movie. COVID as well, and so I was like, what? Wait, what? I don't know what song. And so I was actually really shocked to find out as it released, it was out in this Oscar nominated movie, which is crazy. So it's just such an honor to watch the credits there, and my voice is on the soundtrack, and um, you know, it's with all these amazing artists, and there's a little old me there. So yeah, it was quite the and the surprise as well, but blessed about that.
That was really cool. Those are the best surprises, just like unexpected surprises. Again, thank you for meeting with me,
Oh,
listening. Make sure to check out Natasha. You can find her Facebook page. She has an Instagram page. I'll tag her Instagram page on her personal Instagram page so you guys can find it if needed. And I hope you all have a great week. Again, Natasha, thank you for joining us. And have a great week, everyone.
oh, thank you so much for having me. Take care.